We're going to show here all the steps that it will take a system administrator for iTeam to create a role and a role provision policy. And again, as is common with iTeam, no coding is the rule. Everything has to be out of the box. So the first thing that we're going to do, and this example is going to be first done for static roles, and then we'll do another one for dynamic roles as well. So the first thing that we go here into manage roles is we're going to create a new role. And let's say that this is a static role, as we said before. The name, we're going to call it plant supervisor. We can put a description here if we want to. The role classification, we're going to make it an application role. And here's this is very interesting. On the owners of the role, notice that the hierarchical nature of a team's role allows you to make another role be the owner of this role, which can become very handy to exploit the hierarchical inheritance of those accesses. But in this particular case, we are just going to add a user, and this user is going to approve, will have to approve membership to this role by virtue of the default workflow that we have. Again, we don't have to do it that way. We just want to show a more complete way of doing it. So we select Eddie Power as the owner of that role, so he will have to approve all those requests, and we enable access for this role. And we can actually advertise it in here. We select this box, but we're not going to do that. So we click next, and that's basically all we have to do in terms of the role. So the role is created, and now what we need to do is create a provisioning policy that will act in coordination with that role. So we go to manage provisioning policies, and we're going to create one. We're going to call it again plant supervisor policy, and you can specify who these be applicable depending on the business units of the LDAP organization. We're going to make it just available for everyone. The policy will start as the enable, that's the priority. So that's pretty much all we have to do in this screen. Then we say, who do you want to make this a member? Everybody? Not really anybody. We want to make it people that belong to a specific role, and that role is the one we just created before. It was called plant supervisor. Here it is. So we select that role. Nothing else to be done in here. Now we say, well, whoever gets that role, what is it going to be provisioned? What type of access will he have? So we are going to determine that in this console. We're going to say that this is actually automatic. So by virtue of just getting this role, the minute you get this role, pang, pang, iTeam goes and creates that access. And that access is not going to be for all services, but we're going to make it specific to one service. And that one service is going to be the BOO LDAP. That's all we have to do. The provisioning policy has been established. We submit that, make it effective immediately. We see the status of the request, and we see that it's successful. We are ready to roll. Now, if we go and look, for example, any particular user, let's go and log in as Judy Hill. We see that the accounts that Judy has, let's see, view accounts. She has Active Directory, White Pages, and iTeam. Pretty good. Now we can actually make these. You know, she requests access to a role, or we can do it from the console. Any way is good. But let's say that she actually requests that access, and she's going to search for something that has to do with plant. and she find that plant supervisor role, and she say, well, I want to request access to that. And her request is going to be pending until Mr. Powers, and we'll see that all the emails notification has gone out. In fact, we can go there into the Thunderbird Master Console, and again, we work with any email system, Exchange, Lotus Notes, etc. And if we go to Eric's Powers inbox, we should see that Eric has a pending action, and he needs to approve Judy's Heal. So, okay, say, well, sure, I go to my nice looking, easy to use self-help GUI, and log in as such, and I want to approve this, and I say yes, and you put some comments here that will be on the logs and the reports. And by just doing that, if we go back to Judy Hill's account and we see what type of accesses, what type of accounts she has, view accounts, bang, she got the BO LDAP just by virtue of having that static role. It's that easy, no coding.